Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vesha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnamebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Vishwaram Hare Krishna. I welcome all of you to our morning Bhagavatam class. I am so happy to see all of your faces. So last class we ended with a suspense. What will happen after all the queens fed the poison? Sukadeva Goswami says that neither Chitraketu nor his wife Kritadviti could understand ever the reason why their child died untimely. So when the small child was fed poison, after some time Kritadviti was not able to understand why my child is not giving any signs of life, he is not waking up, sleeping for a long time. So Kritadviti asked one of her maid servant, go and get my son. And the maid servant reaches, tries to wake up, and he doesn't get up. And with just little bit of understanding, the maid servant understands that the son is no more. So the maid falls flat on the ground and wails, like sometimes you have seen in the night the dog wails, like that. Very, very, very excruciatingly painful to hear the wailing of a dog in the night, and very fearful also. This maid, she just fell down and she started wailing and beating her breast like anything. And hearing the sound, Kritadviti just ran and got her to understand what happened. And just this maid showed her hand ki, and she was not able to speak. And then Kritadviti went and then started shaking her son, please get up, please get up, please get up. And Kritadviti herself also fell on the ground. And she started crying so bitterly. And within moments, Everyone in the Kritadyutyu's palace started crying and wailing, and within just few minutes the news reached to the court of Chitraketu. And Chitraketu Maharaj, along with the ministers, Chitraketu, when he heard this news, he was in his court. He was coming, he was falling. He was again getting up, he was again trying to walk, again falling down, again getting up. And that was the emotion of Chitraketu Maharaj. And finally he reached that place. He just started crying and wailing, holding the feet of his son. And hearing all the whatever confused statements spoken by his wife. So we will take the first words today. This is what Kritadyuty speaks after this is her speech towards God after facing this turmoil. So we will take this verse. This is the 6th canto, 14th chapter, 54th verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is 6th canto, 14th chapter, 54th verse. Aho vidhatas tvamati vavalisho. Anyone?
Aho vidhatas tvamati vavalisho.
Yastvatma srishtya pratirupami hashe.
Yastvatmastisya pratirupamihate.
Parenu jivatya parasya yamriti.
Parenu jivatya parasya yamriti.
Viparyayaschet tvamashi dhruva para.
Viparyayaschet tvamasi dhruva para.
Yes, anyone else? Aho vidhatas tvamati vavalisho.
Aho vidatas tvamati valisho.
Yastvatma srishtya pratirupami hashe.
Yastat srishta apritarupamihashe.
Pareno jivatya parasya yamriti.
Parenu jivatya parasyayanamriti.
Viparyayaschet tvamasi dhruva para.
Viparayaschet tvamasi dhruva para.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Alas, O Providence, you are certainly inexperienced in creation. For during the lifetime of a father, you have caused the death of his son, thus acting in opposition to your creative laws. If you are determined to contradict these laws, you are certainly the enemy of living entities and are never merciful. Purport. This is the way a conditioned soul condemns the Supreme Creator when he meets reverses. Sometimes he accuses the Supreme Personality of Godhead of being crooked because some people are happy and some are not. Here, the queen blames Supreme Providence for her own son's death. Following the creative laws, a father should die first and then his son. If the creative laws are changed according to the whims of the providence, then providence certainly should not be considered merciful, but must be considered inimical to the created being. Actually, it is not the creator but the conditioned soul who is inexperienced. It does not know how the subtle laws of fruitive activity work, and without knowledge of these laws of nature, he ignorantly criticizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can see here how the queen, feeling great suffering and pain from what has just happened, the first thing she is doing is to criticize the Supreme Lord. Sukadeva Goswami, giving the example of Kritadviti, is trying to showcase the mindset of a conditioned soul. The ego doesn't allow us to actually believe that we can be wrong. We are always right. And as soon as someone tries to point out that we are wrong, the first thing that the ego convinces us is that this person is my enemy because he has gone against my views and principles of life. And to the extent that one can go to the extent of even condemning and criticizing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as if he is the cause of all our sufferings. There are actually two classes of people in this world. The one class of people are the pessimists. They always have a negative attitude towards everything that happens in their life. If they see anything good, they will criticize. If they see anything bad, they will criticize. If the government is good, they will criticize. If the government is bad, they will criticize. If things are going good in his life, he will say, what is the use? He will somehow or other find some faults and criticize. Criticize others, criticize the creator, criticize the government. These are all pessimistic people. And because Krishna is not visible and he cannot defend himself, that is why these people, they most of the time they criticize Krishna. Because what happens is, the interesting part about God is, he doesn't get into unreasonable arguments with anyone. Imagine you go to that, you come to here ISKCON Newtown, or because here we don't have deities, you go to Albert Road, to Radha Govind, or you go to Soni Mataji's place, to Radha Raman, and in front of that you start criticizing, oh Radha Raman, oh Radha Govind, you are useless, you have done this to me, you have done that, you have done, what sort of creation you have created, what sort of things you have given to my life. And Radharaman will be smiling. Yes? Because Krishna does not defend our criticism, Neither Krishna behaves in an inimical way, remembering our criticisms to him. It's not that you go to Radha Raman or Radha Govind and start criticizing, and then Radha Rani says, I will show you. You have told about my husband like this. हमसे पंगा नहीं लेने का. Like, we tell in Hindi, don't dare. You will not be able to speak only. Radharani doesn't do like that. And because the Lord is so merciful that He doesn't even care whether we are criticizing or condemning or whatever we are doing, everyone is just, anything happens in their life wrong, the first response of these pessimistic fellows is criticize the Creator. They are every day taking bath. They are like every day taking bath in ocean of milk. They are so pure. They don't take bath in these pessimistic, those who condemn the Creator, Krishna and all. They don't take bath in water. They take bath in milk. That is the level of their purity, external. And internal, they are very, very pure. That they dare to criticize the Supreme Personality of God. So this is one side. And then there is another side who just say everything is happening, they're optimistic. Everything is happening for good. Whatever I do will be good. Whatever I am thinking to do will be good. Whatever. And whatever anyone is doing is good. Not just what I am doing is good. If Bir Narasimha Prabhu comes and beats me, it's good. Both for Bir Narasimha and Sri Nitai Das. If I retaliate, it's very good. If I don't retaliate, it's very good. If I shout on someone, very good. If I criticize, good. If I don't criticize, you are very good. Just see the positive thing in everything. This is the claim of the optimistic fellows. Just sit down and meditate on how everything is positive. Everything is positive. Everything is positive. But the problem is, everything is not positive. This world is filled with dualities. There is positive, there is negative. Imagine the flat which I am sitting now giving class gets on fire. And I am sitting and closing my eyes. Everything is positive. And the fire has entered inside the first room, and everything is positive. Just close your eyes and think everything is positive. And the fire is entering and it has started burning other things just beside me. Everything is positive. Just, yes, what sort of intelligent proposal it would be? So the positivity explanations given by the optimistic fellows or the motivational speakers of this world are exactly in the same way that when a fire is on, you just close your eyes and think you are positive and everything is all right and everything will become all right. It is not all right. The world is designed in such a way that something is right, something is wrong. That is why this world is called Dvanda, the world of dualities. So one extreme is to see one extreme of the duality, that everything in this world is negative. And another extremist or the optimistic fellows, they also don't see the duality by seeing everything as positive. So these are two extremists in this world. And both are stooped in illusion. Both are illusion. The motivational speakers are in great illusion, and the depressed people who are trying to commit suicides, they are also in equally great illusion. It's not that someone who is depressed, he is in a greater illusion than someone who is motivated to work in this world enthusiastically, thinking that everything will be good. And interestingly, you will see that there is no information. Like, I had gone to one community to give a class, and some of the people, they attended the class, and at the end, one very influential person, he has got a lot of influence in that community, means he was the main person, lawyer by profession of the Supreme Court, and he asked, Ki Swamiji, I will tell you, everything is good in this world. Everything is proper. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, everything is right, whatever one does. This is what he said. He's a lawyer of Supreme Court. And I said, which chapter, which verse in Bhagavad Gita? Could you please tell me the verse? Because I think you have proven my ignorance about Bhagavad Gita. Last 15 years, my bread and butter is Bhagavad Gita, and I am feeling that I have not read Bhagavad Gita by hearing your statements. And then this person was bewildered by my humble statements. He never thought that I will checkmate him through my humility, or I am not humble, but just the statements. And then he said, Swamiji, actually I had read, but I have forgotten. But then I said, but I read that the entire 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking about divine and demoniac nature. That what something is good in this world and something is bad. What is your opinion about it? I think, Swamiji, I missed out that chapter. I said, you missed out a very important chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the characteristics of people here. They are completely convinced what they are thinking is right, and they try to authorize their statements by telling that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna and Radharani in the spiritual world, they're thinking, I didn't see this. Oh Radhe, I'll tell you, did I say it? Oh Arjun, please, did I say it? I never say it. Why people are telling like this again and again? I never said, Arjuna, did you hear like that? Did I ever say like this? What do you think, Arjuna? Then Arjuna pacifies the Supreme Lord, saying, Krishna, don't give attention to the words of these fellows. They are always like this. They are envious of you. So the general tendency of this world is to remain in this extreme and not accept the reality of the duality of the material world. So the first step of accepting spirituality wholeheartedly is to accept the duality of the material world. Something is good, something is bad. Something is divine, something is demoniac, something is irreligious, something is religious. That is the first step in spirituality, because that will help us to get educated. Yes? Until unless we come to an understanding that something is good and something is bad, we have no reason to get educated. Yes? Why at all I will get educated? Because everything is good, then there is no reason for education. And if everything is bad, then there is no reason for getting educated. The entire education, spiritual education, starts with the foundational principle that now we are stooped in the reality of the duality of the material world. And the goal of spiritual education to help us rise above the duality. Brahma bhuta prasantatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labhate param. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks this verse that this world is designed with a mixture of good and bad. To feel greatly happy when good things happen, and to feel greatly distressed when bad thing happens, will only entangle us in this world. O Arjuna, you remain equipoised, and then you can get my devotional service to my feet. So this is Krishna's instruction, to remain equipoised in both the misery and the happy situations of this world. Is it so easy? I ask all of you, because you will find in the second chapter Krishna speaking the same thing. Arjuna is asking, Sthita pragyasya ka bhasa. O Krishna, speak about the symptoms of a sthita pragya whose intelligence is steady. And Krishna says that a sthita pragya is someone, if Madhur Kohli is a sthita pragya, if he sees gold in one hand and sees dirt in another hand, then he will put dandavat to both of them and say, I equally appreciate both of them. Sthita pragya. If Madhur Kohli is being, we are shouting at him and criticizing him, abusing him with horrible, horrible slang words, and we are appreciating him with beautiful, ornamental, choicest poetry, everything is same. Sthita pragya. And then again Krishna goes in the 5th chapter to speak who is a jnani, and Krishna says the same thing. One who considers heat and cold, success and failure, everything same, he is a jnani. Then he goes to the 12th chapter, who is a bhakti yogi. In the end of the bhakti yoga section, my devotee is one who does not consider insult, he doesn't get disturbed by the insult, and he doesn't get elated by the appreciation. He considers the insult and appreciation same. He doesn't consider someone as friend, he doesn't consider someone as enemy. In every section of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, when he starts this being equipoised in this world, he elaborately speaks verses and verses after verses. And generally in our Bhagavad Gita classes, we skip those verses. You will have never heard me speaking about this, because this is beyond the level of Bhagavad Gita for those who are currently studying Bhagavad Gita. actually the current status of human beings that we find, they are not at the level of reading Bhagavad Gita. But somehow, because people are so attached to Bhagavad Gita and they think that only when they read Bhagavad Gita they are doing spirituality, that is why we speak about Bhagavad Gita. And we speak such principles which they can digest and understand at their level. That's why sometimes people complain to us कि स्वामी जी पूरा भगवत गीता आपने पढ़ाया नहीं, एक एक श्लोक का। पूरा भगवत गीता पढ़ाएंगे तो आप आधा पढ़ते ही छोड़ के चले जाएंगे. You will leave. In the second chapter itself, the descriptions of Sthita Pragya, you will close it and you say, Radhe Radhe. It's good that we skip the second chapter, those sections of who is Sthita Pragya. It's good that we skip those sections of the 5th chapter. It's good that we skip those sections of the 12th chapter, so that at least you have got some elevation and come to the level of Srimad Bhagavatam to understand what I am going to speak today. How to be a Sthita Pragya. Krishna gives the principles in Bhagavad Gita, but how to do it practically is what being explained through the lives of our acharyas in Srimad Bhagavatam. How to be poised in most happy situation and in the most distressful situation. Yes, anyone has any guess? Anyone would like to speak something? Because I always speak and I don't give all of you opportunity to speak. So I don't know how all of you. Yes, anyone, any guess? Wild guess, domestic guess.
Srivas Thakur Prabhu.
Srivas Thakur, what happened to him?
His son when died, he was.
That is an example.
Brief, but example.
What is the principle?
Principle, I mean, death होने के बाद भी he was so much in devotion, he never argued or बताया भी नहीं, and like that, मतलब, I'm just thinking.
Okay, so how it is different than optimistic, positive fellows?
Optimistic हमेशा चीजों को अच्छे से, he was in grief, ऐसा नहीं था कि सब अच्छा है ऐसा नहीं बोल रहे थे, but प्रभु से इतना प्रेम था कि कुछ बताया नहीं.
Okay, so he was trying to hide his emotions then.
For him, his Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pleasure was more important than losing the son.
Does it not seem hard-heartedness from the behalf of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he is allowing his devotees?
Then he blessed him with the son, no? At the end, I think.
And then he again took away also, na? What was the problem to give him one son? Yes, anyone else would like to try? It's a guess. Your guess will enlighten us.
Oh, this Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, fully.
True, Prahlad Maharaj says that the amount of happiness and the distress one is going to get is anyway fixed. So, if one understands that, just like I got so much happiness previously, now because of my own past activities, I am getting some frustration or distress, and this will again go away, and again there will be time for happiness. But the only thing that stays with me beyond my karma and happiness distress is Krishna. So one feels the happiness and distress. Like Arjuna, his son died. It's not that he was not lamenting. Subhadra Maharani was also crying, and Arjuna was also but he didn't give up Krishna, or he didn't blame Krishna for that, because he knew that this has come up and I have to experience this emotion, but it's not, does not depend on me, just like Prahlad Maharaj is saying.
Okay.
What is the benefit of giving up Krishna? Even if you give up Krishna, it's not that the distress will not come if there is no Krishna in life. Or it's not that, okay, I will give up God, so the distress will not come next time. So it's not that bhakti will, if we don't do bhakti, then we'll be always happy. Or if we do bhakti, we'll always, it's a separate part of life, which is anyway going to come through karma.
Okay, but how do we practically, the question is, I understand whatever you said, but how do we practically do it at our level? Okay, we understand that anyway it's my karma that is coming, bad and good and everything, but how do on a practical level we can go above the dualities of this world? See, just by understanding that my karma is coming, we don't go above the duality, because still to go above the duality means na sochati, na kangshati. We do not lament, we do not hanker, we do not be happy. That means to go above material emotions. Yes, that's what Krishna says. To go above the dualities of this world, to go above these two extremes, means na sochati, na kangshati, na hrishyati, na rodati. He doesn't cry, he doesn't be happy. How to do that? That's what is the question. How
So I think it
Yes,
practically means
Sumit
that one
Prabhu.
does not.
Yes, Sumit Prabhu has a answer.
Shantanu Prabhu was saying something, but then I explain.
Yes, Shantanu Prabhu has one answer and then Sumit Prabhu has another answer.
So I think it means that if sochati or hankering or lamentation stops our daily, our activities, spiritual and material duties, then actually it is comes under.
But it stops, The problem is it stops. So I am asking how to not get it stopped. It stops. It makes our activities go in a different direction. We have experienced it. It's not that I am speaking something on air. I am speaking very practical things, that when you go through distress, it halts our progress. When we go through happiness, it halts our progress. We get so absorbed in the happiness, we get halted. So I'm speaking about how to practically, in our level, come to the level what Krishna is speaking in Bhagavad Gita, above this distress. Yes, Sumit Prabhu and then Madhav Sundar.
प्रभु, तो मेरा पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है कि जब तक मैं किसी चीज को भौतिक दृष्टि से देखता हूँ, अगर मैं उसको मान के ये चल रहा हूँ कि मैं एक शरीर बॉडी हूँ, तो ये डुअलिटी आता है। और अगर मैं ये मानता हूँ कि मैं एक आत्मा हूँ, जो भगवान बोल भी रहे हैं, ऑल ऑफ अस आर सोल ओनली एंड वी आर पार्ट ऑफ, एवरीवन इज पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ कृष्णा एज अ सोल। तो जो कुछ भी मैं करूँ, अगर कृष्णा जो कुछ करूँ कृष्णा के लिए करूँ, अगर गलत भी कोई कर रहा है मेरे साथ में, तो आई कंसीडर ही इज आल्सो पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ सोल, पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ कृष्णा। So I think then we can raise ourselves from the level of this.
Okay, you have done the first step of the answer, and that at least you have brought us from material level to spiritual level. So thank you very much. Yes, I think a lot of hands are there. I am amazed. Madhav Sundar Prabhu ki jai. We are so happy to see your beautiful face.
So, like, we can rise above the duality. The problem is that whenever we want to do some activity in this world, we always hanker for the result. So we can rise to the, because duality means heat cold, means we are getting suffering, we are getting because as Prabhuji said, because we are thinking that we are this body. The point is that, the main point is that we are thinking that we are this body. If we understand this, we try to understand that how we are spirit soul, then automatically all the dualities will go away. But as you are saying that practical, then practical means more like we get detached from the result. We are trying to detach. Whatever activity we are doing in this world, if we try to do it for service of Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna, and not for our pleasure, then I think automatically we get detached from that, and then the dualities will not be there, because actually we are trying to serve Krishna and we are trying to give Krishna. Dualities come because we want pleasure.
Okay, so Sumit Prabhu and Madhav Sundar Prabhu's answers have converted a Z problem to a Z plus problem. We were trying to solve one problem of going above the duality, by being not affected by the happiness and distress of the world. But then another problem, the more Z plus problem is, the answer is, you think you are soul. It's so difficult to think I am soul. It's easy to experience the emotions of happiness of the body and distress of the body. But to think I am soul, it's very, very difficult. All of you may be great souls, that you are fully aware of that you are soul, but I am not. To think, I have spoken so much at length about how we are not this body, our spirit, soul, and people criticize Srila Prabhupada for this reason. And Prabhupada is only speaking, you are not this body, you are spirit, soul in all classes. And not speaking anything higher in spirituality, the Swarupa Siddhas and the relationship with Krishna and all. Prabhupada is not speaking because you are not understanding the first step only. After first step, the second step will come. You are still sitting on the lowest step. So a Z problem is how to rise above the duality, and Z plus problem is come to the realization of the soul. So how do we tell a practical thing, think that you are soul and think everyone is soul. It's the answer, but we are thinking that we are body. I am thinking that I am a girl, or I am a Swami, I am a boy, and I am getting attracted to a girl. And I am thinking as a girl, I am getting attracted to a boy. And I am thinking as a girl, and I think that my goal of life is to beautify my body and wear ornaments, put lipstick, and really look good. So we are at that level. Yes, all of you I don't know, but I am at that level. Yes, Kushal Bihari Prabhu has an expert comment on how to come to the level of soul.
So, Prabhuji, the problem is we forget that Krishna is our ever well-wisher.
Okay.
So, when, especially for the devotees, we should always remember that Krishna loves me and he is my ever well-wisher. So, then if we remember that, then whatever is happening in our life, we'll be able to, at least we will be able to say that, picture abhi baki hai. I don't know actually what Krishna wants. So maybe this is the situation which is going to bring good for me in future, but I don't know Krishna's plan. Man proposes, God disposes. So at least I can think that practically. In my situation when, as you know, my sister died. So that time I remember it was very difficult, but the thing which kept going was I was having association of devotees and I knew everybody is praying for her. So I was getting that feeling that somewhere Krishna will do then definitely very good for her. So that way I kept myself going. So I can relate with that.
Okay. So Kushal Bihari Prabhu, for him we should say half Hari Bol, because it's not the full answer. So I don't know how to speak half Hari Bol. So we should say Hari, 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 Hari. So all of you chant Hari, Hari. None?
Hari, Hari, Hari.
Very
Hari, Hari.
Don't say Hari Bol because it is half answer. So the first half of the answer is what Kushal Bihari Prabhu is telling, that we understand Krishna is Suhruta Sarvabhutanam, as Krishna is telling in the 5th chapter, 29th verse. And little elaboration about it is that Krishna is also the supreme controller. Someone can be our well-wisher, but he doesn't have any control, then what he will do with us, correct? Krishna says, Iswara Sarva Bhutanam, Sarva Loka Maheshwara. I am the controller, I am the proprietor of everything, and I am also the well-wisher. So the first understanding to come above the duality is to understand Krishna's supreme well-wishing nature. He loves us more than anything else and anyone else, more than whatever we can even think to do good to us. We have our own conceptions of what is good and what is bad. But this faith that Krishna loves me is the first step to come above the duality of this world, of success and failure, happiness and distress. And to complete the answer is an understanding that everything that is going on in my life is because of my karma. There is no doubt about it. As Santanu Prabhu said elaborately, Madhav Sundar Prabhu and Sumit Prabhu, all of you have read Bhagavad Gita very nicely. All of you are self-realized, and it's the fact that we are going through our karma. But a materialistic response is either the pessimistic response or optimistic response, but a devotee's response, devotional response is he uses every situation in his life, whether it is happy or distressful, whether it is success or failure, to come closer to Krishna. This is the practical way to come above the duality, because this is something which we can do. This is not a feeling. Like what Kushal Bihari Prabhu said, it's a feeling, it's an emotion. At our stage, every emotion is just a mental adjustment, correct? At our stage, spiritual emotion is just an adjustment. Oh yeah, because we have not realized the spiritual emotion that Krishna loves me, correct? Any one of you have realized that Krishna loves you? We have not realized it. It's just an adjustment based on the scriptural injunctions, correct? We are trying to adjust our intelligence, align our intelligence based on the scriptural injunctions of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita says that Krishna loves me. Yes, Krishna loves me. But till date, we have actually not fully experienced Krishna's love. So that lack of experience of Krishna's love and realization makes the answer what Kushal Bihari Prabhu gave as incomplete. But it becomes complete when, on a practical basis, we utilize every situation to come closer to Krishna. If we get success, we utilize it, that, oh, Krishna has given me success or my karma has given me success, whatever. For me, it's very difficult to understand whether the success has come from my karma or whether the success has come from Krishna. But on a practical level, let me utilize it for coming closer to Krishna. It's very difficult for me to ascertain whether the problems which I am going through, my health crisis, my financial crisis, very difficult to ascertain that whether Krishna has given me or my karmas have given me. Even the greatest astrologer like Kushal Bihari Prabhu cannot speak about it. But on a practical level, it is important that we find out ways that how in this financial crisis or health crisis I can come closer to Krishna. I can utilize this situation to come closer to Krishna than which I was previously. This is spiritual, devotional way of going above the duality, which we can do at any stage of our life. But the problem is, how do we understand to utilize every situation in going closer to Krishna? Like Kushal Bihari Prabhu gave a situation. Such a painful situation to find such a young lady, your own young sister, at the age of 32 and 33. She was of my age, or maybe little younger to me, and she passed away for no serious reasons and disease. Got some head ache, and then fell down in the washroom, and then got some clot in the brain, and she passed away. Now we can be completely depressed and we can have suicidal thoughts and we can become. But one way to see is that let me utilize this situation to advance spiritually, come more closer to Krishna, and let that soul which has passed away from my sister's body, let that soul also get or come closer to Krishna. So this practical endeavors to utilize every situation to come closer to Krishna will help us go above the duality. Every situation has the potential to take us away from Krishna and make us more illusioned in this world and take us more closer to Krishna. And our endeavors to utilize it to go closer to Krishna will help us come above the duality. How to understand, how to come closer to Krishna in every situation is the role of Guru in all of our lives. That is why Guru and disciples' relationship is being extolled with choicest words in the scriptures. If we are taking our Gurudevs just for name's sake, and we have faith on our mind and intelligence, this what I am thinking is right, then actually we have no hope of going above the duality of the world. A Guru who sincerely, genuinely guides us to utilize every situation, whether it is painful or happy, to come more closer to Krishna, is our best friend in the entire universe. And that is why it is very, very important. It's actually the most serious job profile in the entire universe is that of a Guru. Sometimes we take the responsibility of Guru so cheaply and the duties of disciples also very cheaply, because we really don't understand the gravity of the relationship. Without a proper Guru, it is impossible to get out of the clutches of material energy. Impossible. Okay, there are sadhus, there are gurus who have destroyed the trust and faith of people on this sacred guru disciple relationship. That's all fact and true, but that does not minimize the fact that without a proper guru, we can get out of the clutches of material energy. It is impossible. It is impossible. And when we have an honest and heart to heart, or when we have an opportunity for an honest and heart to heart relationship with our spiritual master, we should consider that is the greatest fortune. And those discussions can help us understand how to utilize every situation in our life in such a way that we can come closer to Krishna. If we are in association of devotees, we can come closer to Krishna. And sometimes when Krishna puts us out of association of devotees, we can take that situation to come more closer to Krishna. But we need guidance. And for us to take that genuine guidance from genuine persons, we need to have that trust and faith. But let's be convinced of the fact. If all of us, if all of you who have assembled here today, if you have any desire, a bit of desire to go back to spiritual world this life, then take this principle very seriously. The principle of surrendering our mind and intelligence to the Guru Parampara. And surrendering means sacrificing all our definitions of life. Recently, in the new book, I had written a chapter called The Definitions, which you will read after it is released. But it is important that until unless we sacrifice our definitions of what we consider as right and wrong in any situation, we have no opportunity that we can actually wholeheartedly surrender to our spiritual masters, and then we do not have any opportunity to come closer to Krishna in those situations. Then either we'll be thinking unnecessarily optimistic or trying to intellectually adjust that how this situation is good for me, or unnecessarily become depressed. But the fact is, whatever we are experiencing is all because of our karma, or maybe as a devotee we are experiencing it because Krishna has put us in this situation. But in whatever situation, it is very difficult for us to understand at our stage. I am talking something at our stage. I am not talking about that we are self-realized. I am talking at our stage. It's very difficult to understand the love of Krishna. At our stage, it is very difficult to understand that we are not this body, we are spirit, soul. But at our stage, we can take steps, practical steps. In every situation we fall. Find out means how to increase my affinity for Krishna, how to come closer to Krishna. And we should be happy with that. Sometimes we go through such distressful situations and we just chant Hare Krishna. And we should be happy that Krishna, because maybe of my karma or whatever it is, I am put in this situation. But I am happy that I am chanting some extra rounds for you. And if I am put in a happy situation, I am prosperous, let me utilize whatever prosperity I have to do some service to Krishna. And thus pray to him that, oh Krishna, I don't know whether I have got this success because of my karma or you have given it. Let me just utilize this success to do some service to you and come closer to you. That is my only goal. So in every situation we should have plans that how we should analyze that how in this situation I can come more closer to Krishna, how I can utilize this situation to come more closer to Krishna. And for that I need guidance, and I need to take the necessary guidance required, that in this situation how I can become more closer to Krishna. And honestly, I'm telling you, I'm telling this to so many devotees. Recently, one devotee said, Ki, why don't you, you are suffering so much. He sent me actually an SMS. I'll read the SMS. Because if I read it, then you'll understand the... Hare Krishna, Pamo, can you send me your birth details? When devotee was sick, some people were approached to find out why he is sick. We could also try something for you also, if you are okay. YS, your servant, such and such. I didn't reply to the message. Then after some time, in the evening I went and I told that I'm not interested. And the reason I'm not interested is, by going to these places, we'll get an information that, okay, I am suffering my bad karma, or we'll get an information that I do not have bad karma, I am suffering the bad karma of my disciples, or we'll get an information that this is Krishna's intervention in my life. These three situations will happen, and we may get some information about it. But what I will do with those information? Just like my body is temporary, the information is also temporary, and it will also go away as I leave this world. Yes? But on a practical level, I have seen whatever spiritual advancement I have done in last 15 years, there is no comparison to the spiritual advancement that of my consciousness happened in last 2 years of my life. So I don't want to exchange this situation with any situation in my life. So I have seen and I have experienced, and I am telling you, all of you, please put faith and trust in my words. Even if you do not have trust on the words that Krishna loves you, at least put trust on my words that whether Krishna loves you or not, whether you are able to understand that it is my karma or not, whether you are able to understand that Krishna has put me in this situation or not, try to find out means in every situation to come closer to him. And you will see such deep satisfaction within your heart that the material world will vanish for you. I will tell you, the material world will vanish for you. It will hardly matter what the material world is doing for you, doing with you, and what is happening. You may get all the information of the material world, but it will just remain an information. You will never get affected by those informations. So a practical, very, very practical. This is what in 2020, last 2 years before, when I got, and it was 2020 was such a horrible, the amount of pain and everything, and now it is just like maybe 15% or 20% of what happened in 2020. But then at that 2020, I just sat down and I analyzed and prayed to Krishna, and oh Krishna, let me utilize it for coming closer to you. And in the night when everyone is sleeping and my stomach was paining, I used to read Garga Samhita. And I can see that when my stomach pain stopped, I stopped reading Garga Samhita. But it was such a wonderful experience in the night, whole night, nights after nights, reading Garga Samhita, Gopala Champu. I completed so many books. I want my stomach pain to start again. But understand. And Krishna is so merciful that COVID happened, so that my services got confined to only online, and services also got reduced miraculously so that I can focus. But in every situation, it is possible to endeavor to come closer to Krishna, provided we are in right guidance and right association, or we are sincerely trying to go back to Krishna. So it is my humble request to all of you, please, the first request I have, please don't consider this relationship of Guru and disciple for name's sake. Don't become Guru of anyone for name's sake. And don't become disciple of anyone for name's sake. This is the relationship which will take us out of the clutches of material world, provided we seriously understand the grave importance of it. And the second request is, please don't unnecessarily think and analyze whether Krishna is giving me, my karma is happening, or whatever is happening. It is just a waste of time. I am telling you, you will never be able to come to any conclusion. No astrologer, how big he may be, no Agastya Nadi, no Bhrugu can, they may maximum give you an information which will have some probability of success and truth. And all these analysis that people go through in this world, why I'm suffering, why I'm happy, and all these things will not get you anywhere. Sit down, introspect, deeply meditate on just one thought. How I'm going to utilize the situation I am put in to come more closer to Krishna than what I was yesterday. This is something which is very practical to help you come to the level of Sthita Prajna, to help you realize that Krishna is our ever well-wisher. Srila Prabhupada is the one who came to tell us how Krishna is our ever well-wisher. And being in that role, he is also our ever well-wisher. And walking in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, all the gurus in our parampara, they are also our ever well-wisher. Because they are trying to connect us to our ever well-wisher, that is Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki. And what will happen next is the ever well-wisher Angira Rishi will reappear in the scene. And now he will not just come alone, he will come with a surgeon. He was a doctor, but he will come with also a surgeon because surgery has to be done. So he was specialized in putting one in the situation. Like, today I got a medicine which will take out all the diseases of my body. It will manifest all the diseases. So that was the medicine. It was like sulfur 1M, the missile. So Angira Rishi, he put a missile in the life of, he put a medicine that his disease, Chitraketu's disease of heart will come out. But then he brings a surgeon also who will do the surgery of the disease, who is specialized. Angira was specialized in putting into a situation. And then he will bring another of his friend to help Chitraketu come out of the situation. And we will hear the Katha next time. Hare Krishna. Anyone has any question? We have 15 minutes because we have a special meeting after that. Wow, there is no question. Amazing. All of you have, I think, understood the subject matter very nicely. Or
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
yes.
Prabhuji, actually all the devotees are there. So those who have been here in Krishna consciousness for some time, so definitely in their life they must have had some experience of Krishna's hand, like we made this hand of God. So like that they must have had. So that also gives a kind of faith, that Krishna is my well-wisher. So generally after spending some time chanting and doing service and hearing so much katha, automatically some realizations also start coming. So that also helps, right?
Yes. So, but still that is on the level of emotion. Bhakti for us is not an emotion. Because we are doing sadhana bhakti, it is an endeavor. When we come to the level of raga bhakti and raganuraga bhakti and prema bhakti, the endeavors go to a secondary place and the spiritual emotions supersede the place of the endeavors. So at the level of a Vaidhi Bhakta, we should understand that the emotions, spiritual emotions, should foster our spiritual endeavors to come closer to Him. Srimati Radharani sometimes would just lie down and cry, and that is her devotional service. But we cannot do that. Oh, Krishna loves me so much. Oh, Krishna, I have found out, I have understood the hand of God in my life. I have found out, I have loving and crying and crying. And then other devotees in the ashram are coming. Shri Nitai Das, get up, why you are crying? No, I will not get up for today Mangalarti. I am crying because I have understood now the hand of God. This is fine for Srimati Radharani, or those who have in the platform of Raga Bhakti. Because for those who are Raga Bhaktas, their service is to exhibit the spiritual emotions they are experiencing to Krishna. And Krishna releases those spiritual emotions. But for all of us, Vaidhi Bhaktas, our spiritual emotions should foster our spiritual endeavors to go near Krishna. So spiritual emotions, if they are not fostering our spiritual endeavors, we should consider those emotions as distractions in our spiritual life at our stage. And when we come to the stage of a prema bhakti, premi bhakta, spiritual endeavors sometimes come as distractions in the experience of spiritual emotions. Sometimes when we endeavor, it's a, like for example, Krishna is not coming, and Radharani says, okay, nahi aaya to kya hua? The goal of a living entity is go towards Krishna. Krishna is supreme. I will run towards Krishna and find out where is he. So that will be rasabhas for Radharani. Radharani will close the door of the kunja and put Lalita and Visakha on and says, tell Krishna that I am doing man and he has no opportunity to enter the kunja, maybe for one kalpa of Brahma. And just Radharani does nothing. Can we do that? Jagadananda Pandit, he endeavored getting a big pot of sandalwood oil so that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can apply it and take bath every day. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, ki, Jagadananda, people will consider me a tantric, trying to put perfume to attract women. You better give this to Jagannath. He will be very fragrant and people will be attracted to him. Jagadananda became so angry. He said that these endeavors are simply distractions in my love for you. Hell with these endeavors. He put that big matka, big mud pot of the sandalwood oil in front of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that entire oil filled the Gambhira, and he left. He closed his door, he locked up in his room, and for 3 days he was not coming out, no Mangalarti, not even chanting Hare Krishna, and just sleeping. Can we do that? So in our stage, spiritual emotions should foster spiritual endeavors. And if they're not, then it is a distraction. Sometimes people say, Prabhuji, I am remembering Krishna in my chanting, Krishna is coming and all. If that is helping you to attentively hear the holy name, it's very nice. But if it is not, then it's simply a distraction. Because we are at the level of a Vaidhi Bhakta. We definitely pray that one day we will become a devotee like, or servant of Jagadananda, or we'll develop these spiritual emotions. But so long these are not developed and we have not come to the level of understanding how I am the servant of Krishna, we have to be careful in not giving too much importance to our emotions, spiritual emotions. But those emotions, we can try to utilize it to spiritually endeavor in a better way. Because if you do not have any emotions, we will not be able to endeavor only. We will get stuck in spiritual life. But we must understand spiritual emotions are not our offering to Krishna at this stage. It will happen. It will happen. And we pray to Krishna that by the end of our life, we come and reach to the stage of a Bhava and Prema Bhakta. That we simply cry in ecstasy for the pleasure of Krishna. Not to show to others that how Krishna, I love you so much. Most people in this world cry in front of Krishna to show their devotion to all of them, to all others. Or at least foster their ego that how great devotee I am. But when pure devotees cry, you know what is their mentality, why they cry? They cry because you see how horrible devotee I am that Krishna has left me. And that's why they are crying. I'm crying. They're crying because just see, I'm not able to speak to Krishna. Or if Krishna speaks with them, they also cry. You know why they cry if Krishna speaks to them? They think that just see my faith. My faith is so low that Krishna has to endeavor to speak to me too, so that I become faithful that he is existing. That's what is the thought of pure devotee. The pure devotees, when Krishna speak with them, they think that just see, because I am such a downtrodden devotee, I have no faith on Krishna. He has to speak so that my faith is increased in him and I continue service. If Krishna doesn't speak, I will stop the service. This is the heart of a pure devotee. If Krishna speaks to them, he is crying that, oh, just see, I am such a horrible person. He has to speak. I have no faith that deity is non-different than him. He has to come and speak. Then only I consider Pratima now tumi sakshat Brajendra Nandan. This is what scripture says, that he is not a statue, he is a deity, but I do not have faith, unfortunately. And he has to speak so that I get the faith. See, just see how horrible I am. Just see, just see, just see. And if Krishna doesn't speak, he says, just see, just see, just see. I do not have any love for him. And that's why he's not speaking. In every situation, the pure devotee condemns himself and cries. There is no one in this material world, there is no one in this entire creation who is more horrible than me. So honestly, we are not at that level, so that is why we must endeavor. Okay? Hare Krishna. So one last question by Sabyasachi Prabhu. Your voice is not coming. I don't know why. No? Hare Krishna. You are stuck. I think network is... all of you others are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think okay, there is some chat also. It has come. When will that situation come? Okay. I don't know when it will come. I just am telling that we endeavor, sincerely endeavor for coming closer to Krishna. Finding out means how I can inch more towards Krishna. Whatever I was there previous day, let me today endeavor little more. That is a very practical thing we can do. Little more, little more, little more and more. Yes, Sabyasachi Prabhu, I think... Yes, but I think you have to... yes.
Yes, Prabhu. I was just asking, we are discussing about the devotees or maybe non-devotees, not especially non-devotees, those who are pessimistic and they blaspheme or they blame Supreme Lord for each and everything in their life. By doing so, they incur sin or virtue. When Bhagavatam says that in any mood you take the Lord, you get that phala or maybe the fruit of that taking Lord's name.
So the question is like, you are asking whether they get sin or not when they do like that?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. At a level of innocence, if one is ignorant in spiritual life and he doesn't know about the spiritual subjects, until unless he really does an action of blasphemy, he is not subjected to horrible reactions. But definitely, if one is condemning the Supreme Lord doesn't take any offense, but Durga Devi does take offense. The proprietor of the material energy, Durga Devi, does take offense, and the first response of Durga Devi and Shivji is a spiritual response, is a devotional response, is to help him connect with someone who can tell him that how Krishna is not to be blamed. So this is the first thing. Every person who goes through these situations, you will see that they will definitely be sent or arranged. If he is really seriously condemning the Supreme Lord, the first thing Durga Devi or the demigods they do is that help him get the knowledge, opportunity for knowledge. And if he fails in that, then he is getting the reaction. But if he, like we see Chitraketu and Kritadviti, they are condemning and all those things, but they didn't failed in the arrangement. Angira Rishi comes, Narad Muni will come. And they accepted Angira and Narad Muni's what they are telling. And they said, yes, actually I was in fault. So the first response of Durga Devi and Lord Shiva, because they are very compassionate, their goal is to see and uplift the consciousness of the living entities, is that they will make an arrangement. If someone is seriously criticizing, condemning the Creator, the Supreme Lord for their problems in life, they will be put in a situation where they'll come to an opportunity, will get an opportunity to understand the knowledge. If they take it humbly, sincerely, seriously, then they will not get implicated. If they miss it, surely they will get implicated. Surely. It's very dangerous to project our own sufferings as a mistake of the Supreme Lord, because we are only suffering our own karma. But then these words, whatever is being spoken, or sometimes like I remember one boy, this is a real story, one boy, when I was to teach in Partha, the boy's father passed away, and he had a picture of Jagannath, Balabhadra, Subhadra Maharani in the house, and his mother used to tell him again and again that worship Jagannath, and he used to, because of the relationship with mother, to satisfy her, he used to put some puja and all, but he was not interested. He used to study in 8th class in Partha. Very brilliant student. Single mother, the husband passed away because of some accident, road accident. This boy took the picture of Jagannath in the house and shouted at the mother, "This is what he did for us? I have been telling you again and again that don't worship him." He took the picture, he put it on the ground, he put his legs, feet, he's put his slippers on Lord Jagannath's face and stamped again and again and again, until the entire glass and whatever laminations have got completely trampled. So it's horrible sin. So people have done like that. This is just an example. It's a real story. And the mother said that after coming to Partha, I have seen his affection for Lord has increased again. And I am very grateful. Whether he gets some college or engineering or anything, that I don't worry. The mother has confided to me. But your association, relationship has given him faith on Lord. And that is what I wanted. Because I was more disturbed being Jagannath treated like this by my son than the disturbance of my husband getting, of the death of my husband. So if people do like this, and you see that boy, because he went through this situation, Krishna gave an opportunity. He came to Partha, met Sri Nitai Das and other faculties, maybe got an opportunity to understand, And then he surrendered to that understanding. He was not adamant, nay, I will still believe what I am believing. He surrendered. He said, yes, I was actually wrong. And he begged forgiveness, and then he surrendered. So if that is there, then they are forgiven. But if that is not there, they are still adamant, obstinate. After getting that opportunity, Durga Devi, Lord Shiva, there is no, this is such a serious offense. They are going to suffer like anything in hell, more than whatever karmas they have. So this is the reality. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpataru vaishya kripa sindhu vyaya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Jai Srila Prabhupada.